Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to episode 96 of Freshly Grounded. We have Sam Palmer.
And just Faisal Chowdhury.
Guys, before we go into what we discussed in this episode, just want to let you guys know about our Patreon account. If you head over to Patreon, which is patreon.com/Freshly Grounded, you can sign up and become like a patron, so like a premium member of Freshly Grounded. It's around £5 a month. And the main benefit is that you get to support us, which is really, really cool. And it really does help. But also, and you can read up about how you can support us by going to the Patreon page. So just have a go at reading it. But also, you get the episode one day early. So if we record, like we mostly do, the episode before Friday, then you will always get it on a Thursday. And you also get the episodes every week ad-free. There's rare occasions where we end up recording an episode on a Friday, and so you won't get it one day early, but you'll still get it ad-free. So no adverts, no intros, and a few other benefits as well. You get some discounts on our live events, etc. What did we talk about this episode, bro?
Madeline Mccan.
Yeah, and we spoke about
your toolbox.
Come
on,
Jamaican, the Jamaican fried dumpling burger that I had yesterday. Yep. Spoke about the barbershop.
Yep. Purity. Speaking less.
Yep. We spoke to Nate a bit. Nate produced the episode.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
We spoke to him briefly.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
Again, speaking less. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's it. It's a good episode, nice cool episode. We're building up to 96. We got some really cool guests lined up for the next couple episodes as well, coming up inshallah. That we're kind of in talks with. So hopefully, if they come into fruition, that'll be really cool. So without any further ado, guys, this is episode 96 of Freshly Grounded.
And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
Welcome to Freshly Grounded.
After that bit.
The brand new podcast.
And after that bit?
By best friends Faisal and Sam.
Really?
Bro, do you want a hotel for episode 100?
It's a nice idea.
What do you
It's not that far from me, to be honest.
Oh, is it not?
Nah.
Okay. Yeah, it would be a travel lodge anyway.
Yeah, I'll go home. The travel lodge is around the corner.
I checked the prices.
How much is it?
Both,
expensive.
Yeah, even travel lodge is expensive as far as travel lodges go, but everything else is like 250, 300 quid.
I don't need that.
No, we're not. Yeah, but obviously.
What is 230? How much, sorry? That's how much the hotel is?
That's like regular hotels around that area, but travel lodge is like 70, 80 quid.
Okay, yeah. I'm not that far, so I reckon I'll be alright.
Okay, what time do you plan on coming in?
Let's discuss
the logistics, don't we?
Yeah. You tell me, you're the boss.
Nah, we'll have to figure it out. Bro, did you see the video of Anthony Joshua doing his house tour thing? Did you watch that?
No.
So basically, during camp, he done like a house tour where he stays, and it's like just like a 2-bedroom flat with like ripped sofas, and it's just like proper what you wouldn't expect. And people were talking about it. Oh man, I thought you would have seen it.
No, I haven't seen it, no.
Anthony.
That's just where he's staying when he's in camp, do you say?
When he's in camp, yeah. It says like my crib, so it almost makes it look like...
It's new, is it?
Yeah, it just came out yesterday. So that's his living room and kitchen. You get the gist, and then his bedroom. Oh, that's just his. This is his bedroom, bro. This is bedroom. Yeah, it goes on, but that's basically the end of it. To be honest, that's his yard that he stays in while he's training.
Yep.
What did you think about that?
Looks quite simple and straightforward and minimal and basic.
I suppose it must be good for his training, right?
Yeah, I imagine so. He can just focus on what he needs to focus on.
Yeah, but I would.
But he definitely stays in nice places sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, but I think it went on fight week or something, because it said then in the article it said that on fight week, he said something like, "Oh, this is a lot different to fight week when last time he stayed in a £20,000 a week mansion." Or something.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So I suppose that the money that he saves up staying in this camp, he uses for thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, is that supposed to be? Is he saying that's his yard, his crib, as in?
Well, so when
I'm pretty sure he just said those sofas have been there for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Which indicates that.
So I think that because
Is that his home in Watford? Is that like?
No, so he's training. Apparently, his gym is in Sheffield.
Okay.
So that must be his home in Sheffield, for like when he's training.
Yeah.
So like he's always kind of. But yeah, it's a weird one, man, because everyone's commenting like, oh, like this is why he's a people's champ and like he's so humbled, and he is.
Yeah.
And it is beautiful, but I just don't. And he's obviously a great person for being able to do that. But I probably wouldn't if I had that much money.
Mm. It's interesting. I'd like to know a little bit more context of why and what, because he's a very, very wealthy man.
Yeah.
He's a very, very wealthy man. He's also very humble.
Yeah.
But he's a very, very wealthy man.
Very wealthy.
But I've heard him talk about money many times, and he's not obviously really into like material items and that. I think he owns a few expensive luxury things, but what he talks about is he's very much like business minded, and he likes to invest and let his money sort of work for him. So I don't know, but I'm sure I don't know.
Very cool in it, but yeah, you do.
But I've seen him stay in other locations and this that, and the other. I'm sure he doesn't spend his life like in that kind of basic.
Yeah, of course.
But maybe when you're training, that's quite a healthy thing to be around, just basic, and you can just concentrate on what you're there for.
Yeah, and you maybe like you come home as a reminder as to why you're here. Like you're not here to enjoy life, as in like in camp. You're not in camp to enjoy life. You're just there to.
It's probably what he was used to when he first started training very hard, and it's kind of it probably works for him. But when he's going to sleep, he knows when he's going to sleep. It's not that's the conditions he's in, and not what he has to be in. He knows that he's because
he doesn't even have a bedside table.
No, I think it's probably basic while he's training at camp, and then afterwards he has a bit more luxury to it, I imagine.
Yeah, and he goes on nice holidays and stuff.
He does go on lots of nice holidays and stuff. Yeah. If you actually work out how much money he must have in the bank, it's a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to be in those conditions, but it works for him, and it's good. Good for him. I don't completely understand it, but I definitely... I'd like to... You have to have a bit more context on it, I suppose.
I think that what happens is that in that house, in that flat is him and then two of his like camp mates.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're like his sparring partners or what. But yeah, and then they just have a double room with like 2 double beds. And imagine being like his campmates and being like, because obviously he's like very humble and like very relaxed, but they might like not like they might be like they don't mind a bit of luxury. And so imagine that, like we're trading with Anthony Josh for the next 3 months, and then Anthony Josh was like, yeah, just stay at mine, blah blah. Oh yeah, sick. And they walk in and they're like, huh? I just like the
probably
idea.
They know after the fight when they go on holiday to Dubai and where they get to stay there. Probably all worth it.
Makes it worth it.
Probably does make it all worth it.
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely does. Freshly Grounded 100 is coming up.
It's approaching. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Feel good.
Are you excited for it?
I'm excited.
Because we haven't surprisingly spoken much about it because we've both been busy separately.
No, I just get the odd picture message from. Can I present this?
Yeah, sure.
So the odd picture message of things that you've been purchasing.
Yeah. How do you feel?
This is my favourite thing.
Really?
This is actually really good. What colour is that?
Black.
It almost looks like kind of dark grey.
Yeah, it does.
I like it. Charcoal.
Yeah.
That's my favourite thing.
I mean, I ordered black.
They've given you shiny grey. Definitely not black, but it's really nice.
A lot of stuff for the event is black and white because it's just
2 capes.
The 2 capes. Yeah.
Capes.
Yeah.
Are they capes?
They're tablecloths.
Okay.
Yeah.
They look like silky capes. They were purple though.
Yeah, they're
so
purple.
Not everything black.
No, because the price wasn't affected no matter what colour you go for.
It wasn't.
No,
so you went all in with the purple.
Yeah.
Rate that.
But with like t-shirts, when you're buying so many t-shirts for all of the staff, and there's like a surcharge for extra ink, and it's like I'll just go black and white, mate.
Yeah. How many t-shirts did you get?
I think there's 50 in that box.
Mashallah.
But yeah, we've got our staff that are going to be there that day, which there's like quite a few of it. Then we've got the venue are providing their own staff as well, and then. There's a lot of staff that day. A lot of staff. Yeah, like for example, there's a dedicated guy who we've hired just to take the audio from our microphones. Yeah. So he's gonna be mixing audio.
So you can rip it straight away.
Yeah.
Is that the correct term?
Something like that. But the audio is like one of the most important things, bro. For like the.
Is it the correct term?
It's a bit old school. That. Back to scratching records.
Well, tell me. I don't know. Is he gonna rip it? Is he gonna rip it straight away so it can go live?
Oh my gosh, sorry, look at that. I just clocked. Did you clock that?
What?
TV.
Didn't you?
They put it up yesterday. That's really cool, isn't it?
That's good, yeah.
You know what that's for?
So you can watch this live and rip it off live?
That's for when we're doing podcasts.
Yeah.
And like, if I want to, like I just showed you actually Joshua thing, I just, for my screen, flick it to the TV.
Yeah, smart.
Cool, innit?
Yeah.
And also for like us to do podcasts where we're like watching stuff.
And then obviously when you
Commenting
edit
on it.
on the video, you'd put the little. Would you put a screen
Probably
up? No, so the people aren't going to know ever what's on there.
Probably not, because there are the issues for like copyright and stuff. Maybe.
Okay. But you got good TV to watch while you're doing a podcast. Smart. So you were saying there's a man who's going to be ripping it live?
Yeah, there's a man who's ripping it live. There's going to be a front of house staff on their side. We're going to have our own event manager, but they have their event manager as well, who's going to be behind the scenes. And they've got like, it's sick, man. They've got like these screens and they can see every part of the event, and they're like just like running the event and micing people up. So like behind the scenes, just like it's oh man, this is going to be amazing. Like the behind the stage is like this room. It's like the prep room where the event manager and their staff is basically like wiring you up, giving you earpieces, headsets, and then you got open the door and it's just like, and it's packed, bro. Every seat is full.
Sold out, yeah.
Sold out.
MashaAllah.
And it's such a shame because I mentioned it a few
Have you got
times.
any spare ones anywhere?
None. Why do you need one?
Nah. But it sold out quite quick. I think there are probably a few people. I know, in fact, there was a few people who were almost just going to kind of wait nearer the time who were going to get it.
But I know, the amount of messages I've been getting
Yeah.
every day, emails, everything like, can you at least like create a waiting list where people find out? But it's gone. You know what I mean? Like I said, on the actual day, there might be 1 or 2 seats that are here that are dotted around that are empty. But that would only be because, for example, let's say someone's bought tickets and then like someone's not been able to make it. But I can't sell that seat. So, like as far as like stats go, there's a butt on every seat.
How many seats were there?
And not a cigarette butt.
Good.
Yeah. Because that would be dangerous for health and safety as well.
Yeah, why would there be a cigarette butt on the seat?
You tell me. It would be bad. It wouldn't be great at all. What was your question before, Sam?
How many seats are there?
400.
400.
Yes. And people have been telling us you should have got a bigger venue.
Yeah.
But we have to bear in mind, it was our first event. I didn't know what was going to happen. Originally, we went for a 230-man theatre.
400 is quite a lot still, isn't it?
Yeah, we went for a 230-man theatre first. And alhamdulillah, we didn't go for that because we would have sold out in the first day.
Yeah.
So we increased it to 400. But in hindsight, perhaps we could have gone for 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah. I've already got the venue in mind for our next event, inshallah.
What's that going to be called?
Freshly Grounded 101. No, joking. Don't know. I do, but I found it so fun though. I want to do events more often. And there's clearly people like enjoy, well, the idea of it because they don't know if they'll enjoy the event yet because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But we've got good things planned.
Are you confident for the evening?
Very, inshallah. I've got a really good like feeling about it, inshallah. Like, I think it will go well. Inshallah, obviously it's in Allah's hands, but we're doing it for a good purpose. And bro, the one thing I always try and remind myself as well is the reason we are doing Freshly Grounded, bro. Like, alhamdulillah, we're getting to the point now where we're 100 episodes in. Alhamdulillah, we're getting like some accomplishments like number 1 here and stuff like that. But the main thing is the reason we started Freshly Grounded was purely one reason. And I sincerely believe that Allah is putting barakah in it for that reason alone. And that's why we have to remind ourselves about it. And that reason was that we wanted to create an alternative to music for people to be able to listen to where they're still getting some light form of entertainment or listen to our conversations or having a laugh with us. Sometimes it's a serious episode, sometimes we're having a laugh, sometimes we're interviewing someone and it's like very detailed about them, but ultimately it's audio content for people. And the intention really truly was to get people to stop listening to remember in our first episode, one of our first episodes, we were talking about how like there's young girls, bro, who are like, but just because they're hearing it, right, like rapping the lyrics of Anaconda by Nicki Minaj, not knowing that the whole song is about penises. You know what I mean, bro? Like, it's disgusting.
I didn't know that.
It's disgusting, bro. And so imagine what else people are rapping and singing about, not knowing what the intention behind the song is. And so if we could take one person off having that in their head and like and being like almost brainwashed by that kind of stuff, then I think that inshallah we're doing our job, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I didn't know about that song, man. didn't caught me off guard with that, to be honest. Astaghfirullah.
But bro, it's mad.
Powerful, mate. It's powerful.
But that's just one example, bro.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Imagine like how many like you know what the music industry is like, bro, and we're not even talking about the permissibility or impermissibility of music. That's out the window.
Yeah.
We're talking about the lyrics that are like in this day and age. We're not talking about lyrics where people are singing about happiness and peace, bro. Like the majority of songs are about like a sexual nature, a like physically violent nature, or a lifestyle that's not actually admirable. Do you know what I mean, bro? So desirable. Nate Rose in the building.
Yes, it's quite ill and twisted, isn't it?
Very ill and twisted.
It's very ill and twisted.
So imagine
the effects it has on the youth is crazy, bruv. Even anyone, music, yeah. Yes, mate. Good reminder.
Yeah, but we have to remind ourselves about that with Fresh Uganda because
no doubt.
Yeah. People say to us stuff like how do you always get guests on, and it is very difficult to find guests. But like I said again, I sincerely believe that Allah has made it easy for us, because I think that inshallah our attention, as long as we keep reminding ourselves of what it is, you know, we can get right. So even this 100th episode, while we look at it as like a celebration of 100 episodes of Freshly Grounded, it's also like a big deal because it's an event to show people who perhaps don't know about Freshly Grounded, because a lot of people will be fans of Freshly Grounded, but they bring in their parents or their brothers and sisters or their friends who haven't really heard of it, and it's a way to show them, look, here's a whole panel of like great people, great role models for the youth, like people who are successful in their fields, but they also attribute their success to Allah, and it's very possible to have a good time and fun time. One of the things that does suck a bit sometimes is that there's not always halal like things to do, like a night out. Like a halal night out really is what you can, like, let's say if you and your missus or something, you can go to a restaurant. Like for me, for example, I love theatre because I just love the idea of like a live like performance. But obviously there's nothing that exists for live performance that we can really like comfortably go to. Do you know what I mean? So this is like an example of that. Yeah. So imagine there's more things like this. If not anything else, we're creating a night out for people.
Would you compare the 100th episode to theatre?
Well, it is in a theatre.
It is in a theatre.
But there's no acting.
But to a theatre show. Is that how you sort of imagining it, or?
Nah, because there's no acting.
No acting.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be fun, man. Inshallah. How's the shop going?
So before we go into that, we've got 2 new added guests. Has that been? Yes. And who's that?
Yeah, it's been announced. We've got Josh LaMonica
and
Omar Chowdhury.
And the logistics, are they going to be on the main board, or they're going to come on first? Or
yeah, they're going to come on first. So we've got like we're going to have a panel with like yourself and me, and then Omar and Josh. Yeah. So we're obviously going to be on stage the whole time, because Fishy Guarded. Yeah. And but the whole event is audience interaction. So there's going to be microphones. There's 3 microphones in the crowd. 1 in the VIP section, 1 and then 2 in the.
What happens
sections.
If the audience don't feel like interacting?
Well, then that's our jobs as hosts, to ask questions.
I'm asking you the question.
That's why we've got the presenter cards. Right, a couple questions down.
So we'll have questions on here for our guests.
Well, we can just have a conversation.
I just want you need to prep me. I've asked you if you need to prep me. You don't need to.
You haven't asked me to prep you. Yeah, but no.
These are good.
The guests will ask questions.
The guests are going to ask questions to the people on the.
No, sorry. So the audience will ask questions. Yeah.
Sorry, the audience will ask questions to the guests.
Yes, definitely.
And we'll just intervene.
Yeah, man. I know like segments in between. We're doing a couple of announcements in there. We're going to do a competition where we're going to give away some really, really cool prizes to the audience, and that's just going to be you and I. We're going to ask some questions, some freshly grounded questions. So people better get their freshly grounded knowledge up. Yep. Because we're going to ask them, and we've got some really, really cool prizes that we're going to give away. I'm trying to actually solidify one really big prize. So let's see, inshallah, if that happens. But yeah, man, there's a lot of cool segments, man. There's a lot of cool segments. And alhamdulillah, we have a charity partner on board, Muntada, who are going to be fundraising for the little AIDS. For the subhanallah. For the Little Hearts campaign. For the Little Hearts campaign. For Muntada Aid for the Little Hearts campaign.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. That's going to be cool. So we got a lot of stuff happening that day, man. We had to extend the time, bro. It was originally 5 till 9, and it's now 4 p.m. till 4 till 9.
It's quite a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, people need to
start at 4.
Starts at 4. People need to come on time for 3:30. Yeah, doors open 3:30. You got half an hour to get in.
Subhanallah.
We got half an hour to get 400 people in their seats. Yeah, but we got the staff for that, man.
Yeah,
we got everything's prepped, bro. Like the registration is computerized. It's all like we thought about every single element. We had some amazing event management staff who are really helping us. We got Abdus Samad, as you know. We got a brother called Yusuf, who's been amazing. He's taking care of the whole hospitality side of things.
Are you getting a hotel?
I haven't figured out. If I am, I'm gonna just share one travel lodge room with the 2 event managers. So all 3 of us just stay in room in case we have to like do some last minute prep, or it won't be anything like luxury.
Yeah, but you're looking to stay there, or
perhaps I'm
in the
thinking
evening,
about it. Yeah, and because we got to go there early as well the next day, and I'd rather not like have to
you have
travel.
to go home. So you have to go back to the event the next day, the venue the next day. Do you say?
Oh, you're asking if I would stay there the night? No, I would probably stay the night before. Sorry.
Okay, fine.
Probably the night before. After the event's done, I'll probably just after the event's done, I'll probably just. It'll be nice if after the event's done we can all do something like a meal or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Very late and we'll be very tired. So.
Yeah, that's a really bad idea.
Maybe the week after.
Yeah,
we're gonna be very tired.
And we're gonna have our families with us.
We should all go. Now maybe about 9:30, 10 after spending the whole day talking, we could get together and talk some more.
Yeah,
It'd be nice.
All right, don't need to do like.
I'm a realist because I know what you'll be like afterwards as well. Your energy will have gone and you'll be tired.
Yeah,
Be ready for your bed.
I'll probably have a throat infection the next day.
Probably.
I might be going on tour with, I can't say who or what, but maybe I'm in talks with potentially doing like they're doing a 5-city UK tour. It's like another Islamic event, and 2 of the days are during around Freshly Ground 100, but the 2 days after I'm available, so I might literally get off Freshly Ground 100 and
jump on tour.
Jump on tour.
Mashallah.
Maybe.
Superstar.
Maybe.
Where's the tour?
I think it's like Manchester and Cardiff or something. I'm not sure.
Cardiff. My mate studied there.
Yeah. Would you study anything cool?
No, nothing cool.
Huh?
That's not my mate. yeah. No, sorry.
I co-present.
Only
Only
presented up there.
Have you been to his shop yet?
Not yet.
Oh man.
You have to take me.
Yeah,
or is it Farringdon?
Holborn.
Zara.
Zaha. Yes.
Sorry, not Zara.
No,
wow.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Man.
There's a nice green room. I've noticed the green room that looks good.
Beautiful. Bro, the whole thing is next level,
yeah,
bro. But,
you know that on your story a couple of weeks ago when you're going up and down escalators, is that the venue?
Bro, that's the venue.
Wow.
But as soon as you go down escalators, the whole thing is ours. Like,
wow.
Bro, it's mad. But I wanted to raise the levels. I had to, bro. I didn't want it to be like a regular. I was saying from the start, I didn't want it to be like a regular Muslim event.
Yeah.
So, inshallah, obviously we have to pay the price for it, but it will.
Say that again.
We might sleep on the streets, but it's
for the next 2 years.
No, but inshallah.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's nice.
Yeah,
high standards.
It'd be not. Yeah,
and I don't know if Anthony Joshua would have got that one.
No, definitely not.
He wouldn't have.
No,
he would have got a
old church,
a church hall or community centre, like I originally suggested in the.
You did, yeah. In the skit.
Yes.
Bro, recently I've become a bit fascinated with DIY.
Yeah, I've heard you mention this over the years. To be fair, that you
really?
that you want to kind of be able to get into it.
Yeah,
am I right? You've actually
you're right. I remember
you've had interest in it. Never physically kind of got into it, but I've heard you kind of discussing having a toolbox and being able to take a toolbox somewhere
and having a shed, right?
Yeah, and having a shed.
Yeah,
and you've displayed levels of interest, but I see recently you've actually started getting.
I invested, bro.
Involved, yeah.
So those like really nice big Stanley toolboxes that like proper hard toolboxes that was on offer
with the drawers.
No, I'm not on those levels yet. It's just like a nice, it's just like a nice Stanley toolbox.
Okay,
yeah?
like a small toolbox.
No, it's not actually quite. It's actually quite big.
Like a one that you pick up.
Yeah.
I was thinking of those big ones with the wheels.
No. Like, one that you pick up, a fairly medium one, right? And it's normally £35, which is quite big for just a box. Quite expensive for just a box, but it was on offer for a tenner in B&Q.
Any tools in it or just? Okay, just the box.
Just the box. So I grabbed it.
Start though. Not.
Yeah, so the start. So I got my first official toolbox because before I was using like an old ice cream tub with like some hammers and stuff in it. So I upgraded. Yeah,
that's good. Have you got many tools in there?
Yeah, so I've got. I purchased a drill, 18-volt drill with drill pieces, and obviously I've got. I've got
hammer?
I've got the wrenches. I believe I have a hammer. So what's happened is I used to have a toolbox, right? And this is actually like a really sad story because that ice cream tub kind of thing, right? That was actually all my granddad's tools. And so when my granddad passed away, I took all of his tools. Tools aren't cheap, you know. And he had like a really good tools, bro. So I took them all and I kept them. So they were my tools that I now used. And I had a lot of things that I needed, like all the different types of screwdrivers and hammers and wrenches and that kind of stuff. He didn't have any power tools. Point is, I went on a job. Okay, fine. I went to Badr to help like do a few bits. So I went on a job and I left my toolbox there, and subhanAllah, it just went missing. Now, no one took it. I'm sure no one took it or anything like that, but it's just gone missing. Like, alhamdulillah, for some reason, it's been misplaced. But we just can't seem to find it, bro. So I lost all of my tools.
No way.
Yeah, it was really sentimental to me because it was my granddad's tools. And I have a lot of memories from childhood when I used to like help my granddad do bits around the house. And we would use that toolbox and those tools. And that's why it meant a lot to me. And you could still see he's had his tools for a year. So you see all of like the marks of like things that he's done. And like, they're like really rugged old tools. And so that they were really sentimental.
Are you sure they've gone?
Can't find them anywhere, man.
That's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah,
Check that cupboard in the main office.
I checked all them places, to be honest. Like I say, definitely not saying anyone took it, but I just can't find the toolbox, and it was really sentimental, but it's gone. And so the only other thing I have left of my granddad's is his really strong oud that I wear every now and then on a very rare occasion, and it like smells of him.
Mashallah.
But so because of that, I was like, you know what, alhamdulillah, I see the good in it. I can start building my toolbox. So I bought the toolbox and got a drill and a few bits, man. And the other day I've got some wrenches and stuff, and so I fixed the flush in my house. The flush broke, and I was like,
did you break the flush?
No, but it like conveniently happened around the same time. So I found out that the flush had broken, so I was like, leave it to me. Went there with my tools, didn't know what I was doing.
Went there with your tools?
I went with my toolbox, didn't know what I was doing.
Did you need to use any tools?
Yep.
What did you need to use?
Screwdriver. Yeah, and my hands, really.
Yeah.
Phillips
You just spat so much on me. So much. More than I've ever experienced. Two massive...
Not you. I was like when the car drives past you.
Puddle, yeah. Two massive bits of
I laughed and all my saliva went...
Where is it?
All over you.
It touched me.
You look like you had a shower.
I don't know what to do.
Are you into DIY much? I fixed the flush. And then I got really gassed and I went out and I bought a new shower.
New shower head
and pipe and like that functionality.
Yeah.
Fitted that.
How's that?
Great.
Is it more powerful?
Yeah, but right, so basically a shower head, which I didn't know this, but apparently by law, I think I mentioned this on the last episode maybe, apparently by law, shower heads have to have this thing in it called like a limiter or something. Okay. So when I fitted it, I was like, oh no, like it's hardly working. And so I went in the shower to have a shower because I was really proud of it, and it was like dripping. And I was like, what? And then I YouTubed it and I found out that they have these things. So I opened up the shower head and sure enough, there was like a little rubber in there that only let out a tiny bit of water. Just take that out and then...
Okay. Yeah. So that's a limiter, you say?
That's limited, and legally they have to have it because to like conserve water, but it's not. You don't have to. It's not illegal to take it out.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, you take it out. Just government trying to
First thing I do when I get in.
Check your shower head when you get in. Yeah, it depends how new your shower head is because apparently that law is only recent.
That's interesting.
How's your water pressure?
Yeah, fine, good, strong. Yeah, what did you change it? I don't need you to come around and do anything.
I've got the tools.
That's fine.
How are you with the DIY?
I don't do it that often, but I did used to have a box of tools, which is probably
why you used to.
Yeah, because I haven't like since I've moved out of my house, I've never needed to. So they're probably in my like mum and dad's garage somewhere. But I used to skateboard back in the day, so I used to have quite a good like set of tools, which I actually would invest in and use, but I haven't used them for a long time.
Did you used to buy like the deck separately and then buy the?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because you could obviously get a complete skateboard, but that's for losers, right?
I wouldn't describe them as losers, but generally people would buy like the bits and pieces and you'd make your own sort of thing.
Bearings and all that.
Yeah.
I was really into skateboarding and
I bet you brought the whole thing from Halfords.
So originally
orange one. I bet the surfboard looking one as well.
No, so what happened is originally I bought the way I got into it is because I got one from Toys R Us that was complete, let's say a complete skateboard, and So then as I got into it, I was like, first of all, it was a bit rubbish. And then as I got into it, I realised that that's not how the actual skateboarders do things. No. You buy a deck and then you buy the trucks and then you get the wheels separately. Everything's separate. You build it yourself to build your perfect skateboard. And also, I was checking out what size skateboard I should have for like what's good for me and stuff. And the one that Toys R Us sold was like 8.5 or something, like huge. So then I started like getting into. I never ended up actually purchasing like different bits and building one, but I started buying the tools for it.
Okay.
For it.
Just spat me again. Not as much, but quite a lot. Just be careful, please.
I think I had the tools for it and stuff, and then never got around to do it. But you did that.
I did for a period of time. Yeah.
So what deck did you have?
I've had many decks, man.
And
I've had many decks.
And you still have them at your mum and dad's house?
Bro, there's a skateboard in Menspire that I actually brought probably about 5 years ago, which is like a good. I actually brought it all as one, but it was from like it's basically because it was out of convenience. I brought it all as one, but it's like a proper deck, and everyone uses it now as the children's seat. I don't know if you've ever noticed.
Yeah, I noticed. It's really cool. I thought it was really cool.
I love it. I actually think it works really well. So that skateboard is literally dedicated just as a children's seat. It looks better than just like the lump of leather we've got. You just put a skateboard on it and get the child to sit on it. They like it as well.
I thought that was your guys' thing.
Nah, it's just out of convenience that happened, man.
Wow.
But that's the last skateboard I brought, and that's quite a good skateboard.
Yeah.
But I've had lots of different skateboards, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, were you good at building them?
It's not difficult, to be honest.
Really?
Not really. It's quite basic. It's like, changing your bearings, a little bit to it. I actually quite enjoyed it. It was quite therapeutic.
It seems it.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's
nice.
what
It's
I like
nice
about the DIY stuff.
Yeah, it's nice. To be fair, I haven't even thought about it. But yeah, no, I did used to get involved with the tools when I was younger, yeah.
You should probably get...
I really like the smell. This might sound crazy, but when I think about my tools, the smell of my box I had was beautiful.
Yeah, same, I like that.
Why is that? Is like the plastics of it or something? I don't know. It smelled very good, man.
I think it's like your natural, as a man, like wanting to be the fixer. I think that's what my thing comes from. Like me just wanting to
probably has an element to it. Yeah.
Yeah, innit?
I think mine just smelled really nice, to be fair.
Nate's amazing at DIY.
I can believe that.
But I'm like a fake DIY man. Yeah. Nate is really.
You're very
good.
new to it, but he's
What did I say to you yesterday, Nate?
Because Nate's the one who always builds everything, isn't it?
Nate builds everything. Yeah. And Nate done the set.
Did he do these?
Yeah. Nate, you did these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I actually have like some stuff that I need doing, and even though I'm like a DIY guy, I said to Nate, I need your help. So one day, like next month or something, I'm gonna.
When you say you're a DIY guy, how long have you given how long have you given yourself that title? You can't just chuck it out like that, man. Since you fixed the broken flush of your house, you're a DIY guy.
Anyway,
you're ambitious.
I need a real DIY man.
Yeah.
And so Nate's going to come and help me here. And I'm just going to watch.
Take some notes. You can learn a few things from Nate.
Yeah.
Like how to be a real man.
No, he's proper.
I know. He's genuinely just like a very capable man.
He's a very capable man. Yeah. Nate's one of those people who can just survive.
I know. He would survive. I've seen him survive.
What do you think about that's what I wanted to talk actually earlier about what I was saying I've forgotten about was what do you think about like survivalists? So right now there's a lot of people who are like buying stocking up on loads of food and stuff because of Brexit, and toilet roll and that kind of stuff, which I don't really understand. But there's also people who are survivalists and they just own items just in case like something was to happen in the world. So they own like water filters in case like all the water runs out and they can like filter out.
Yeah, it's smart. If you've got the storage space for it, even like stocking up on loads and loads of tinned items and toilet paper and the essentials. If you've got the space for it, why not? You're gonna get through it. The life essentials are gonna. If you've got like a cupboard where you can just store loads of essentials, why not? But I don't know.
Does it make a big difference? Do you think, like in terms of financially?
I'm sure. Yeah, anything wholesale, you buy a load of anything, you get it cheaper, aren't you? So. Realistically, you're going to use it.
That's true.
And if it lasts, you could sell a little bit, give some to your neighbour.
I remember watching a documentary about it was called something like people who are like really really stingy, and this guy was saying that one bit of toothpaste lasts him like months or something because he just like. He has like techniques of how he can get the toothpaste out, and he genuinely put his toilet roll on the washing line to dry it.
Really?
Yeah, and he had water in his house. Like this is in America. He genuinely had water out of his tap, but he would never use it, and he would cause himself the hassle of driving in his truck with a massive barrel over to the sea, fill up the barrel with sea, and then filter it at home. And then he'd be
barrel
like,
of C.
and he'd be like, this saves me. He'd be like, oh, this saves me 7p a month, stuff like that. That's what he would say.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Minimalism was on in the salon yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just in kind of connection with like, are these things extreme? Yes, I think so. But are there valuable lessons with them? Yes,
very valuable lessons. If you take it with a pinch of salt, I've never got through the minimalism documentary. I've tried watching it twice.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the same. I've got segments of it to the point where I can kind of talk about it lightly. But it was on. And I sat there and watched it for a bit. But it's quite. I don't know. It's kind of it is extreme. But like it's basically going. It was the bit I was watching was just about and it actually took me back to when we were in Dubai with Shahid and what do you really need in your home?
Yeah.
Do you need the matching bedside tables and the matching lamps and all these little bits and pieces which when you don't think about it, you just think, yeah, well, it looks nice. And that's what it comes down to. It visually looks nice. And if it's your home, it's nice to make it look nice. But do you need it? No, you probably don't. But is there a problem with you having it? I don't know. I mean, going into it too deep and saying, no, you should have literally minimal everything, like no material items, whatever. I don't know. You can definitely take lessons from it, but is it? I don't know. Is it essential? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Shahid's level of minimalism is like the perfect balance because he has the things that you do need. Like he didn't not buy a dining table. Like he has a dining table. He has enough chairs for family. He had a sofa and like bedside tables and cupboards and everything. But it's about he didn't waste. He doesn't have things that you just don't need. Like everything that he has a purpose, which is nice.
Yeah. Which I'm sure if you go into your room, you could find lots of things that doesn't have a purpose.
Correct. I've got a toolbox.
That's purpose there.
When
Nate shows you how to use it properly.
Yeah.
But even with Shahid, he would have a certain amount of jubbers and like almost wouldn't feel the need to replace to get another one. Do you know what I mean? I think it's good.
Oh,
it's good.
I remember that. Yeah.
For me, it's just like whether it's in my nature or whether it's I'm poorly trained, but I don't know. Having those extra little bits and pieces is nice. It kind of makes a home.
I like it too, and also maybe it's like natural fuss, like just want to like get certain things. I don't know.
But then I met a brother who was telling me that even the toys that his kids have finished playing with, he'll sell.
That's cool.
It is cool because ultimately, otherwise he's just if he throws away a toy or an old T-shirt that is child would wear, if he threw it away, he's thrown it away. But if he's sold it for 50p, it's kind of getting money back in his pocket. And let's face it, I mean, not everyone can afford to just throw away a couple of pounds here, there, and everywhere. So if you can gather, look after the pennies, the pounds look after themselves, as they say.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm not saying I live by that, but it made me think, imagine just rather than throwing things away, which we do, imagine if you actually just put those things on eBay. I'm sure someone would want it somewhere. And even though if it only comes to £2.50, still £2.50 that you're going to need to spend on something.
Well, I think sometimes it's also there's that hassle in like throwing things up on eBay and like waiting for it to sell and posting it out. But you're right in saying that you could still have a way of making use of things instead of just wasting it and throwing it away. Yeah. I know there's an app, I think it's called Olio, where basically, I might be wrong. Imagine if that's like a dating site or something. That's not. It's genuinely called Olio, I think. Basically, what happens is you can put your items up on there and people can't for free and just say, I've got this item, I'm giving it away, I don't need it. And people on the app who are like in your nearby area, if they want it, they'll message you, I'll come and collect it.
That's good.
And they make the arrangement, they just come to you and collect it. So you just get rid of it. Do you know what I mean?
I even sense like a little bit of hassle in that anyway. Like you have to make sure you're around at the same time. And
maybe, but if you can
mention
that I'm only around on weekends or
just leaving the front garden.
These are the times that I mean. So other than this, the house is completely empty. I have loads of valuables.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's like I said, it's good to take lessons from these things.
I had I threw out my old mattress a while ago.
I was thinking about you the other day because I realised you remembered that you invested on a new bed and a new mattress, didn't you? I'm in the process of evaluating that.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
But it's the best decision
I remember you said it, and I say it nicely. You said it in a quite proud way that you've done it. I thought, you know what? It's a good investment.
No, it's one of the best decisions I made, bro. Like investing in a good bed, bro. It's not gonna go to waste. Do you know what I mean? Like alhamdulillah, it was a very, very good investment. We threw away that old mattress, and I didn't really know how to get rid of a mattress because they don't teach that.
Yeah, you can't just leave.
They don't teach you a lot of stuff. You almost have to just have initiative. Sometimes.
Yeah, so I didn't know how do you get rid of a mattress. How would you get rid of a mattress?
Where we are, I think you have to contact the council about it. Can't just throw it out by the bin. But a lot of people do it secretly at night.
Yeah, you see some mattresses. You see mattresses on the street sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So anyway,
never lie on them.
Mine's not on the street.
I would generally call someone I know who would remove rubbish, but it's expensive.
Yeah, so that's what we ended up doing.
I bet it wasn't cheap either, was it?
It was 60 quid.
60, yeah?
Yeah, but he collected quite a few items. It wasn't just the mattress. And so basically...
money in rubbish.
Yeah, there's a guy. Apparently, there's a guy who just like has a van, and you just bell him, and he just does jobs that require a van. He's just a man in a van.
Man in a van. Yeah, there's loads of those.
Yeah, and but yeah.
There's loads of those people.
Really?
Yeah, we've moved house a couple of times, and these man in the van have helped. If I've been at work or whatever, a man in the van shows up, undoes the bed, puts the bed in the van, takes it to the next house, puts the bed up.
Really?
Yeah.
And who's got the key to the house?
Sorry?
The man in the van has the keys to both houses?
No, but there'll be obviously...
People.
Well, so for instance, my missus would be doing... And her mum was doing the move. Because I'm making myself bad. Why was I not there? It happened once.
Okay.
I think it was a busy day. I was working, and a man in the van did most of my moves. So I got back, and everything had been put up.
But I'm saying it's not a company like they have man and van companies, and they probably have regulations. And but this guy is literally just a man, and he has a van. You bell him and just say, "Look, this needs to be done," and he just give you a quote.
Yeah.
It was that kind of guy. Because also, where did he put the mattress?
Ask no questions, hear no lies.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Why don't you set up a business?
What,
man with a toolbox.
or flush fixer or something.
Yeah, you could be flush fixer. I think you'd get some horrible jobs though, man.
Yeah, but I know how flushes work now. So
yeah, but you don't. I don't
or
know.
one type of flush.
Just be fixing toilets the rest of your life.
Old style. Plumbers apparently get a lot of money.
They do get a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got a bit of a tool obsession, and I've recently purchased some tools that I haven't yet used. And then the other day I bought 500 screws.
What for?
And my missus was like, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah.
I didn't have an answer. I said, "I don't know, and I regret it." Because now I have 500 different size screws, and I don't have wall plugs.
We'll make the most of them in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate could do something with them.
Yeah, Nate could obviously do anything.
A lot with them, yeah.
A lot.
You could do a lot.
But yesterday I was gifted some screws.
Who put the TV up?
We had a man coming into it, yeah.
A man with a van, or?
No, he was an electrician. He's
one of Thingy's guys.
Yeah, one of the guys in the office is his guy. Like his guy who does electric stuff.
Oh,
okay,
right.
Yeah, not
contractor.
Like, he's his contractor. Yeah. He has a few shops, and like they have like one electrician that they use for like the stuff that they get done in their shops, and so he called him around here, and then we just like while he was here, we like,
they moved the stuff from the shop here, TVs and stuff.
Yeah,
that's good.
And we just said, why don't you chuck up this TV? Chuck it up.
Saved me doing it.
I had a misinterpretation yesterday. So basically, that electrician who came, I was speaking to him about TV brackets because I was saying, look, I might want to put my TV on my wall now to make some more space. So I was like, how does it work? Can you just use any TV bracket screws? He was like, no, you have to use specific ones, this, that, the other. And so I was like, okay. So I was like, can I just buy any TV bracket? And he goes, yeah, most of the TV brackets like are good for most of the TVs. I was like, all right, fine. And then like, do the screws come with it or not? And he's like, you know what? He's like, so what you need a bracket? He's like, look, I'll probably have one in van. I'll give it to you. And I was like, oh, that's so kind. Like, okay, how much do you want for it? He's giving me a brand new bracket. And then he was like, no, don't worry about it. Don't be silly. Like, he kind of laughed it off. Like, it's so minor to him that he just has so many brackets. And I was like, okay, we appreciate that, man, thanks. And he came back, and I thought that he was saying that he is going to give me a TV bracket, but he gave me TV bracket screws.
Okay. 4
screws. That's why he was taking money off me.
They might actually be useless, though, them screws, depending on your wall.
I thought you had loads of screws anyway.
Apparently not TV bracket screws.
We thought you were going to get a TV bracket.
I thought I was going to get a TV bracket. Oh, because I was like, I'm going to have 40, 50 quid. He's just going to give me one.
You got some screws.
Got some screws.
Alhamdulillah. Were you still grateful when you gave them to you?
No. How dare you?
Yeah. Where's my bracket? That's good.
Yeah. I always get scared with the DIY thing about like not having like the right level. I know you can get a leveler, but still...
Get a leveler?
You need to definitely get one of them.
You should.
Yeah,
get the long one.
Probably have one on your phone.
I might buy one soon. No, because the phone's levelers aren't great, are they?
Yeah, actually, I've used them.
Yeah, they're perfect.
They're on point, yeah.
Yeah.
Depends what you're doing.
But Nate, you know when you're screwing, like, you know the old shelf that everyone's gunning me down for because the old freshly grounded shelf was really bent, yeah? The problem is that, let's say you mark the X where you want to drill in, but then sometimes you go a bit off. Is that just about having better drill skills?
Yeah, it's the pressure you apply to the screw.
Yeah.
So you can get it right on the
Yeah,
X.
you usually start off slowly, so you get the little hole, and then you put the pressure. And if you go in like that, it kind of
Yeah. Throw you off.
shifts away from the middle.
More shift away.
Yeah, just DIY talk, Sam. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we'll catch up later about it, Nate. So we can carry the podcast.
Next week on episode.
Yeah. So how's the shop going, bro? I was asking about the shop.
Yeah, fine, thank you. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, all good. Yeah.
That's the
But
toilet.
doing good. Josh is all over the world still.
Yes. Yeah, all good, man. Alhamdulillah. Yep, same old stuff. Got a few good, exciting things happening this year, inshallah.
Inshallah, you can't talk about them.
Nah.
No, I can
But
tell.
no, good things, man.
Alhamdulillah.
Hopefully good things, but I'll keep it under the hat for the minute. But yeah, good, man. Alhamdulillah.
I noticed that recently you made it public on your. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it before, but you made it public on your socials that you sold 59.
Yes, that's correct.
And
Yes.
so it'll be interesting, I suppose, for people to hear as well, like about that a bit, like maybe not about the actual selling process, but more so like, first of all, what's your relationship like now? Because it's still opposite Menspire. So are you cool
Around the
with?
corner. Yeah, of course, man. Still, yeah.
You still roll there?
Yeah, of course.
Little
I'll still go
munch.
there. Yeah, I had a couple drinks yesterday from 59. Yeah, of course. When I say still cool, it's not like I fell out with it. I just, I basically, long story short, the reason I sold it is because the lease and the shop ran out, and I had to decide: do I want to do like another 5 years of it, or another 10 years of it? I'd done 5 years in that shop, and I realised all the other things going on, I didn't really have time for it. So that's what first sparked the thought in my mind: do I want to continue doing it, or do I want to maybe pass it on? So that's really how the whole thing came about. It wasn't because it was failing or I wasn't enjoying it. It was just because I had to sign more legal documents and renew and pay loads of legal fees for something. And that basically made me think: do I want to do it? And I didn't.
And it's still quite cool to know that a brand that you created is like out there and still being grown and stuff. That's cool,
what I'm really proud of it. Alhamdulillah, I'm really, really proud of it in the sense that I love it and I still really love it, and irrelevant that I kind of set it up and stuff. I think it's a great concept and I really truly believe in it, and I will still go there, and I'll still help out as much as I can, and I still do little bits and pieces for it, because I believe in it. I think it's fantastic, and I truly believe that the world needs more 59s, because healthy food is it's not that common that you can go anywhere and go and get a healthy juice and a healthy salad and actually be tasty and nice. Alhamdulillah, more and more, there's more places that are popping up which are kind of concentrating on healthy food. But I do think it's a niche market, and I don't think there's enough of it. And you know what I really thought when I was in Medina? I thought, you know what? If there was a 59 here now, it would do so well, because of just that feeling of having healthy food makes you feel incredible. And I just think, like I said, the world needs more healthy food options.
Are they going to stick to the vegetarian vibe?
Yeah, man, pretty much the same. The menu's changed a tiny bit, but only small like improvements. There's nothing crazy, no like meat or anything, just kind of the same stuff.
Yeah, I went there maybe a few weeks back, and I really enjoyed it. I had the same kind of stuff that I normally get, and the coffee still tastes great. And then I went and I got myself a haircut from Midginal.
Was this recently? Or
Yeah, they went there the other day.
Sunday you came, didn't you?
Yeah, man, he's very kind to me, man. Like he's very.
Did he do the
kind.
9:30 one?
Yeah,
Yeah, I booked
and
that.
obviously you guys aren't even open at that time,
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's true.
that's very kind of him to do that. And
Do you know the ins and outs of that appointment?
No.
Nah, it's fine.
was it difficult?
Nah, I will sort that out for you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Alhamdulillah.
But he said he'll do it again for me in 2 weeks.
Mashallah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
inshallah. 'Cause I said, do you know what, boys? It's very difficult. Obviously, it is very difficult to figure everything out, like timing wise, especially because I have to be at office 9 to 5. But weekends are so packed. But I really like going to Men's Spa to get my hair cut. Like
Yeah.
I love the vibe. First of all, the barbers are great. Secondly, some of the staff that people who would listen to and think that it's like absurd, but it's really not. It's very normal to go to most barbershops and the guy who's cutting your hair stinks of weed, and like they like the conversation in the barbershop is horrible, and it's like a chill out spot. Like everyone just goes there, like everyone's boys are just there, like chilling. Like the guy who the owners are like chilling with their boys and stuff. It's very like not professional. So when you go, so even if you put aside the fact that you own Menspire, just the idea of going to a place where it's a very nice, you treat very nice, you go in there, coffee, drink, blah blah blah, take your coat, and then the conversation is clean, and no one smells of weed when they're cutting your hair. It doesn't feel like, well, I had a barber years ago who's out mid cutting my hair. He went, I told you, I think mid cutting my hair, he went to the back because his dealer came in. He snorted a line of coke and then he kind of cut my hair, and he told me he was like, oh, I'm just gonna go snort a line and I'll come back. And I was like, and then he came back and he cut my hair high on coke.
How was the haircut?
I can't remember.
Nah,
Probably right.
that's crazy though.
Because he's more concentrated.
I'll be honest. When I was in the barbershop as a, what the hell are you doing? I had an experience when I was in barbershop when I was a schoolboy, and they were talking about that. They were talking about cocaine as I was sitting waiting for my haircut, and all the barbers were just talking about it. And they called it. They described. I remember they described it as angel dust, thinking they were protecting my ears from what they were talking about. But it was a really vulgar conversation. And I remember just thinking, like, firstly, it's just unprofessional, and it was a bizarre topic to talk about in front of your customers. It's like, maybe if you're a group of friends and you're having a conversation, whatever. But it's a bizarre thing. And I remember actually telling my first ever boss, because when she was talking to me about how important it is about your conversations you're having, I remember saying, this happened to me not that long ago. It was just absurd. It made me just feel uncomfortable, and it probably would have still made me feel uncomfortable now if I was sitting in that environment and the people who worked in the place were talking about something like that. In fact, I was having breakfast the other day, and the waitress, the male one and the female one, were talking about the boys' night out in Soho. It was just disgusting, and it ruined my whole experience because I didn't want to hear. It wasn't overly vulgar. Yeah. How he was talking about it and what the whole thing was about. I was just like, I said to my missus, "This just ruined it. This is disgusting." Point being, a professional environment. When you go to a workplace and you're a customer and you're spending money, you expect like a level of professionalism. And I think, unfortunately, in barbershops, it's forgotten about because it's such a relaxed. Lots of lads together, lads just getting trims. It gets very, very relaxed. And it's
so how do you maintain that?
Bro, it's something I fight with daily, man. Because it's ultimately whoever's in the shop. Are they being Menspire or not? Because it's very easy to, like, Menspire is we promote healthy, good, clean conversation. Don't talk about crude things. Like, just Menspire conversation. Like, if someone says something about a woman or something, you kind of get brought up. Say, probably not really in here. Some people might not understand it, but it just creates an environment where a mum can wait for their child and get a haircut and listen to the conversations that are going on without being offended. And that should be constantly. But it is a battle. And it's about reminding people. It's about reminding people what Menspire is, what it stands for, and it's all about purity, man. Like, I did appraisals yesterday, and just going into like purity and why the brand were like why try and keep it a certain way, why we don't associate with certain things, and it comes down to purity, and that comes down to our religion also, just about being pure, and that's what humans really want. Like, even if like you don't think you want it, when you're in an environment when it is pure, like your fitra, your natural instinct is to enjoy it. So that's what that's what we try and kind of keep at Menspire.
Have you had times where you've had to tell a customer?
Yeah, of course.
Really?
I don't mind that either.
What would you say to let's say a customer starts talking like vulgarly about women? What would you say? I'm sorry, mate.
I'm not very polite about it, to be honest. Because it's usually like young little idiots who do it. So it's not like a credible man will go there talk about women. It's some little show off. So I kind of trying to just maybe just
excuse me, not mate. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out the scenario.
I don't know, man. Try and obviously use wisdom and kindness, but just you need to just like to make them feel a bit silly. Yeah, because it is silly. You don't know why are you talking loudly, and people do it, man. It's part of being young and growing up. Like, you sometimes can be in an environment and get excited, and you almost think that the people around you want to hear something that they don't. Yeah, and I experience that quite a lot because I've got young guys who work in there and young clients, so I do hear young guys trying to impress, and it's almost like they raise their voice and like try and talk about certain things to like maybe impress. I feel like saying you kind of got the wrong crowd. It's like not really impressed by what you're saying. It's just kind of embarrassing yourself a little bit. But that comes with age, man. I'm an old bloke now, so I can kind of I just think you're just young, and it is being young because I probably would have fallen in the same things. Just kind of showing off a little bit, excited. Do you know what I mean? You're in a cool environment, say things to get a reaction, or maybe people to think that you're something you're not, or just whatever. So I think it comes with maturity, but. No, it's not nice, man.
You're right in saying that when you get embarrassed by saying something that you thought that people would actually rate, it's so embarrassing that you learn your lesson straight away.
Absolutely.
Like, oh,
I've experienced it before in my life. Just like it's. But I think it comes with maturity, and it comes with like learning and understanding. Like you just don't need to be that person. You don't need to say those things.
It's tough when you try and please others in conversation that you yourself don't even necessarily believe in, or you're trying to act in a way that you're not, just so you think that you can get rep from others. And it's beautiful when you're kind of humbled and reminded that it's not even respected.
Nah, I think that does come with comes with age and experience, doesn't it?
You do have to mature quickly though, bro, because I know some men who are like grown men, bro. They still have such a mature conversation. I'm talking like probably like close to 40s, bro, like age wise, and they have the kind of conversation when you think like, wow, it's time to grow up. Just like the level of conversation should not be the kind of conversation that you're having, or like we should try our best to still speak respectfully, stay true to ourselves, and you almost need to be humble, brother, because no one's rating that kind of conversation. And if people are rating that kind of conversation, you're around the wrong people.
Yeah.
A lot of it is around who you are. You should feel a certain level of shyness around the people that you're around to like speak about certain things. You know what I mean? Or like say things very respectfully.
I think something I try and live by is just saying a lot less these days. I think a lot of people trying to think about what the correct things to say in a group of people to sound a certain way or whatever. I think just saying less is better, and just saying things when it's relevant.
Yeah.
I know Nate agrees with that. It's
Very
perfect example, man. Like don't speak unnecessarily, because you can tell when someone's speaking for the sake of it. Just like speak when you've got something to say. It doesn't mean be quiet or be shy, but like to just think, what can I say so I can have a part of this conversation? Like, just I don't know. Just you got to just stay true to yourself, and just if it's relevant for you to speak and share something and it's of benefit. And doesn't mean necessarily it has to be a reminder or anything, but of benefit. Is it humorous? Is it funny? Is it strong? Is it good? Or is it irrelevant? And
is there any value to it, basically?
Is there value? And when you say something for the sake of it, the group know, and it just look stupid anyway, and you just look like that kind of person just speaking for the sake of it.
Yeah, or you get ignored, and then you feel like silly for.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't really need to say that, and you come across in a certain way. So I think speaking less and listening more, and speaking when you've got something valuable is a good way to live, man.
Hamza Zorti's posted something today or yesterday, and it said, "Think before you speak and read before you think."
That's good.
It's good, isn't it?
That's very good.
So even because a lot of people say think before you speak, but even a step before that, don't just
read before you think.
Yeah, man. Like be.
It's true though, man.
Be educated before you say certain things.
When you hear someone talking like they know it, and then you know what they're saying is wrong, but they're it's something worse, man. I
actually gave a piece of advice to someone recently who asked me. I never really try and give advice unless someone asked me, but they specifically asked me for advice on a specific matter. And I said that exact point. I said that sometimes, I'm sure I've made this mistake before as well. Sometimes it's okay to not have an opinion about something just because you don't know much about it. It's better to actually not have an opinion than to try and pretend to have an opinion. Yeah. And I think this goes back to the advice that a very valuable advice that Abu Bakr gave me when I first started on like YouTube and stuff. And he said, bro, like just stay in your lane in what you say, and don't say things that aren't related to you. So he said, for example, obviously we know Abu Bakr from Roadside to Islam. He said for me to talk about Asian weddings and like Asian people spend a lot of money on their weddings doesn't really make any sense, because I'm not Asian, I don't understand that, but for you it'd be good. But he said just like for you it wouldn't make sense for you to try and give da'wah to people who have come from the road. And but that really stuck to me a lot, because you don't have to always speak about something, and sometimes it's better not to speak about something. And so that's what I said to the brother. It's like, for example, let's say you and I are having a conversation. We both have two completely separate life experiences, right? But alhamdulillah, we do a podcast every week, and we are able to talk to each other, and we have discussions. But I think the beauty in it is that sometimes we have our own. The beauty in it is that we have our own experiences. And if you were here talking to me about kind of you building a barber shop or a salon, and I was like, yeah, and sometimes it's nice when you do this, sometimes it's nice when you do that. I don't actually understand it, so it's better that I just listen to what you're saying and take some education from it, but not necessarily have an opinion on how you should run your shop, because I have no idea. But it's very easy when you're in conversation to try and feel like, what of value can I say? What can I add?
Certainly.
Sometimes it's attractive not to add anything.
Yeah, exactly.
This brother was speaking to a brother, and I won't mention his name, but he you know, I spoke to him about it, so it was he would have no problem with me saying it here. But basically, he was having a conversation with someone about knife crime, and the brother who he was talking to was like really passionate about knife crime because I think of his experiences, and the brother who was asking me for advice doesn't really have any experience from what I know about in knife crime or anything like that. And when the conversation that he was having, he was almost trying to like advise on like how to provide a solution for knife crime, which obviously is very important. And I said to him, I said, bro, that is such a important topic. It's something that we do need to shed light on. It's definitely we do need to have people talking about. But when you're talking about it and you have no education on how it can be fixed, you have no like valuable thing to say about how as a society we can kind of move forward away from knife crime, and you have no experiences in it. Not as in you've knifed someone up, but as in like experiences even like around people. Yeah, it's sometimes better to hear the guy who has the experience, listen to him, and be like, raw. And instead of saying, and here's how I think knife crime should be fixed, because you don't really have the right opinion. How about you ask a question and say, what do you think about if someone was to say the solution is this? And they can give their opinion because that's the guy. Yeah. So sometimes that's what's really cool. And he a very beautiful, humble, lovely brother, and he took on the advice like really well as well. And I think it's important.
I hear that. Would you agree, Nate?
Yeah.
Speak
100%.
less, listen more.
Yeah, 100%.
I would say you're someone who doesn't necessarily, in a conversation. Well, from my experiences of you, especially in Umrah, say things unnecessarily. Almost just kind of take everything in and be aware of everything, but don't necessarily have to put an input in. Is that something that you make a conscious effort with, or it's just how you are as a sort of personality?
I'm like that anyway, but yeah, I'm conscious of it.
And are you conscious when we talk about you? Like,
because I sit there, I observe everything that's around me. So I think in Umrah as well, especially, I probably didn't say anything for the whole time he was there until the end. True. And I think it all just got a bit overwhelming I said what I had to say, and probably left a little reminder for the guys there. Yeah. Even in my state.
Yeah. Mashallah.
But yeah, it was that's how I am, just in general in life.
Yeah.
And I think that's just come with experience of what I've been through with the people around me, and it's like you learn from other people's mistakes as well, and you just don't want to be that guy to embarrass yourself.
So being around people who maybe talk too much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's like
that.
You look at it, it's like I don't want to be that.
Yeah,
guy.
Of course, you don't want to come across that guy. Yeah, for
so
sure.
You just kind of gotta be a bit cautious of what you say, and especially who's around you as well, because sometimes you just come across like a complete. Can't really say that word, but fool.
Yeah. I'm that guy who talks too much.
Yeah. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's valuable. It's very interesting. Yeah. It's very interesting. So yeah, that was the answer to your question.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk now.
You should run a podcast.
Yeah. It's probably the only
You're a main host of a podcast.
No. Split host, co-host.
But yeah, purity, mate. Not talking too much.
Yeah, and it comes in all forms, isn't it? And like you said, that the beauty of it is that that purity is something that's in our fitrah. Like our general fitrah, like wants purity. Yeah. It's really powerful because something happened yesterday, which so basically what happened is I was at Mccan channel, and I asked him, I was like, does anyone have a bottle of water before I go on? I'm really thirsty. And the guy goes, bro, do you know what? We've got no water here, but one of the producers, he goes, we've got no water here, but I've got a bottle. Do you want to sky it? And so I was like, yeah. So I skied his water, and then the sheikh goes, can I sky some? So the guy was like, yeah. So the sheikh skied the water, yeah. And bro, the sheikh said, how amazing is it that the sunnah speaks about this exact thing? We're like, what? And he said something. He said that there's a hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I don't know the exact hadith, but he says something along the lines of, when one of you drinks water from someone else, basically, don't let your lips touch the thing. Yeah,
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
And and we were shocked. We were like, raw, like, and he was like, yeah. I was like, that's in the sunnah. He was like, yeah. But the point is that how amazing is it that our fitrah wants to do what the deen has already like ordained us to do. Yeah,
sure.
Like the fitrah wants, you don't even want to touch your lips on next man's bottle.
You don't.
That's your fitrah, bro.
Have you done it?
But what else? Skied it, yeah.
No. Have you done it in the sense that you go to drink someone else's water and you actually know it's not your water by the taste of the bottle?
No.
I've experienced that.
It's not nice.
It's really not nice.
Yeah.
I've experienced that.
And then
just to add that in.
Yeah.
You should always sky it.
That's a bit of trauma, to be honest.
I went to it. It was actually in the gym. And I thought it was my bottle. They looked the same, but that one was actually warmer, and I drank from it, and I tasted everything. And I'll never forget that. So always sky your drinks, ladies and gentlemen.
I had an experience like that when I was a kid, but it's your parents, they give you like sweets and stuff. But my mum gave me a lollipop, but I think because there was none left, she gave me her one, and I was like, that's how. Obviously, as a kid, you just put it straight in your mouth, and cause you taste everything. Probably whatever she was drinking or eating, I tasted it all on the lollipop and the breath as well. And I was like,
lollipop. I could
since
never.
Then, I just can't have like nothing from anyone else. If they've like tried it on a spoon, I just can't like.
Be careful.
I was like,
Don't forget these things.
Yeah,
it was warm.
I don't even like the idea of like sharing a spoon or something. Anyway, so
yeah, I can't share from a plate.
You still from a plate?
That's sunnah.
There's a sunnah. Yeah,
with eating with the hand stuff is fine, but if someone's been eating with their spoon and they've put their stuff all
Can you eat breakfast if someone's eaten their breakfast there before and left it in front of you?
Oh, I've had to. I have no choice. Or thrown it up in front of you as well.
The sheikh was saying
disgusting, mate.
That actually happened to you?
Yeah.
Say no more.
Yeah, what were you going to say, sorry?
I can't say anymore.
Oh, right.
Bro, the sheikh was saying, bro, that the fitrah, like, sorry, how amazing is it that the fitrah, like, wants what's natural, what the deen has ordained for you? Like, naturally, bro, for some reason, you don't know why, but you don't want to, like, touch your lips on the same bottle. But that's your fitrah, bro. It's just not normal because that's what the deen.
Yeah.
And there's so many things like that. There's so many things, okay, that you hear, and then you find out that it's a sunnah, and it's like, raw, but I don't even know why I did that. And then you find out that it's from Islam, and you're like, well, the fitrah wanted it. Because the fitrah just wants to return back to where it came from, innit? Yes, amazing, man. And then I stupidly said to the sheikh, because he was like, I said the silliest thing. Because the sheikh said, don't let one of your lips touch the thing, yeah? And so I was like, what? So even if it's your wife? And he goes, obviously, if it's your wife, you share lips. It's fine. And I was like, oh.
You can then, yeah?
Yeah, you can with your wife. But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. So skying is in the sunnah. He said that when he first came to the UK, like one of his students like said to the other one, like, oh, let me sky that. And he goes, what is this skying? And then they explained it. And he's like, oh, amazing that 1400 years ago the Prophet ﷺ told us about it. So many things like that, man.
What else?
Put him in the spot, I'm not sure, but well, for example, I believe, and I think you're an advocate with me on this, I think, yeah, Nate is as well, you know, like waking up early and like starting your day early. I
wish I could return for that nap though, for that sunnah nap. I never get that in.
Yeah, that's true.
I would love to have
that's
that.
true. That's
I'd love
very
to have
true.
that sunnah nap.
But starting your day early, I think that if you do wake up at 12, 1 o'clock, you do feel grubby and dirty.
Oh, yeah. 12, 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah, even 9 o'clock's too late.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I mean, it's more productive, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I read something this morning about waking up at 4:30, and I thought that just wouldn't work for me. And all the reasons, the benefits of waking up at 4:30, I think that's too early. You end up going to be tired, and you're going to have to go to sleep early.
What time?
Is early,
what time would you have to go to bed to wake up at 4:30? Like
you need to
9?
9, 10. It's if you can practically do that, but
I think you.
I wish I could go to sleep. I wish I could go to bed earlier.
But you got kids in it.
Yeah, lots of bits, and then by the time they're in bed, you want to have your dinner, and then before you know it, it's late.
Do you prefer to have because obviously as parents, do you prefer to have like some time when your kids are going to sleep and then you can have like downtime?
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
You have to have that in the end of your day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So sometimes if the kids go to sleep, or your kids, I'm assuming, have strict bedtimes.
Ideally, yeah.
And then when they go sleep, it's like, all right, cool, now we can relax, have some food and relax.
Yeah, certainly.
You need that. It's true, bro.
Yeah, of course. 100%, man. Yeah. You want them to go to bed, man. 100%.
So then you can't necessarily go bed too early as well. And then
let's say they're both in bed by 8, and then you have your dinner, you've eaten it by 9. then you maybe want to do something else. It's 9:30, 10.
It's a bit too early to go sleep at 9:30, isn't it?
Yeah, but so practically you can't really. And then I don't know. I aim to go to bed early, but it's not always practical.
And then I suppose you're sometimes in early stages you're disrupted like throughout the night.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah,
woken up and stuff.
Yeah.
How mad is it that you need, like you have to have sleep, like no matter what your body demands it. And what made me think about that is that the other day I watched a bit of that Madeline Mccan documentary that's on Netflix.
Interesting. I've been watching that. Yeah.
And do you know what stuck out to me about it? That the first.
You watched the whole thing?
I watched the first episode and then the last episode. I couldn't be bothered listening because I know, bro, they still haven't found her. So yeah, I know what it's gonna be.
You don't. It's quite relevant to watch it all.
But I know. Because
I watched one episode and tried to talk about it, but then I know. Yeah, go on, carry on. Sorry.
So anyway, listen to this, right? In the first episode, they discussed the night of her going missing. Yeah. And what happened is that she went missing, and then they were up all night looking for her, and then eventually the man and woman went to sleep, Jerry and Kate McCann, and then they woke up and then they carried on looking, right? So in my head, I was like, wow, like imagine your daughter has gone missing, yeah, but your body still like that's like your body still has to go sleep, like, but you haven't found her.
You have to rest.
But your body don't give you an option. Yeah. But I was thinking to myself, like when they said that they went to sleep, even though they must have gone to sleep for like 1 hour, 2 hours, like they couldn't have gone to sleep for long. But even then, they had to sleep. It's crazy how the body is made. Like you can't avoid sleep.
You could stay up longer than that, though.
Stay up about.
You can stay up. You can stay up longer than that.
They slept.
Yeah, but
probably straight away as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, I don't.
You haven't watched it all, and there's a lot in there, mate. There's a lot in there. You've watched 2 episodes. You've missed out the core of it.
No, but I've looked.
Some time.
You read up about it and
you
stuff.
Studied it over the years. Looked at it over the years. Yeah.
I know that. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say they definitely didn't do it or they did do it, but I know it's skeptical both ways.
Have you looked at evidences?
Like what?
Have you seen all the stuff with the dogs?
No, I haven't seen anything with
exactly,
dogs.
Bruv. We can't talk unless you've watched it.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't seen stuff with dogs because the dogs found the blood in the car.
The blood. And,
yeah.
And the dogs that never ever get it wrong.
Yeah, and they barked.
And they both the same areas and where the dead body would have been and. Bruv, like I don't know. I don't know.
What's that theory then? That they
got rid of the body. They killed her and got rid of the body. However she died, I don't know is best, or if she is dead. But the theory is that the Madeline McCann was dead before they claimed that that baby had gone missing. That someone had taken her.
And I heard that theory is through medication, giving her too much cowbell or something.
No, but that was they found a syringe in the crime scene, so it could have been giving her something, and cowbell was part of it. But
is there a theory that she intentionally was killed by the parents? Does that theory exist, or is it?
There's blood though.
Or is the theory that she had ended up dying?
There is, mate. There's a theory. There is theories. Yeah, that she was like murdered. Yeah.
There's
theories that she could have accidentally died. And
of course. But if we focus on the theory that she was murdered by her parents,
yeah.
Back in the day, I thought she fell off the balcony.
What do people say would be the reason that?
Yeah, but we can't talk about reasoning with things like that because there's a lot of very ill things that happen with like that, and there's you can't about the reason. Oh, that's the reason. There's a lot of twisted people, bro. I'm not even. I don't know, but like if we're talking about theories, there's a lot of It's like, I don't know, but it kind of, for me, like, I've always, when I remember when that whole thing came out and I watched it, and I remember when they started getting accused of it.
Yeah.
And until this documentary came back up, I've always thought myself that they're suspicious, and that, you know, why did the dog, like, what both dogs reacted to the same part of the apartment, like where there'd been blood and where they would have smelt the corpse, and it was both dogs that are trained to do what they did. They were specially taken over there for that particular job, and they both reacted the same part, and they both all signs kind of point to, well, her body isn't anywhere. It doesn't look like anyone took her.
And they barked.
And they barked to two particular. No, one of them in the back of the car. And by the way, they had all the cars set out in this car park, and the dog made no noise, nothing other than the family car to the boot. And then within the apartment behind the sofa, and. There's actually quite a lot of evidence to suggest that it is suspicious. And for me, I actually wrote the whole thing off as they're guilty of it. But because there's been nothing else come from it, Allah knows best. But watch the documentary properly. there is like it makes more sense, and like it makes more sense for them that that Madeline was dead, and the whole thing is,
It was 2007. I think she was 4 at the time, and she would be 15 or something now.
Yeah, something like that.
So it was about 10, 11 years ago. Yeah.
You watch the people on there who are giving commentary, who are involved in the the investigation and stuff. They're pretty certain that they killed her.
Really? So because
it makes more. It does
in the
make more
documentary
sense that she was. However, that she was killed or she died. However, I don't know how. Because it's really wrong for me to discuss it. But but
we're talking about theories here.
It makes more sense to me that she was killed, judged based on the evidences and based what came forward from it. It makes a lot more sense.
So I want to ask a question about the documentary. You know the guy who was being interviewed, who was actually at the dinner on the night with the family, with the mother and dad.
There's a couple of the friends, yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of the friends,
Did they say that they think it's?
Nah.
Oh, they defend their story.
They're all but then they were all questioned many times, and then throughout the questioning, they a few little things were kind of twisted in the statements as well. What
came about of the lady who said she saw a man holding a child in pajamas?
Well, that's it. Then she got refuted because originally she saw someone, and then they got a suspect who actually was he lived down the road, and he was basically someone who could just speak Portuguese. So he was he was at the crime scene afterwards, talking a lot and talking to the journalists and communicate and
they thought he was a paedophile.
Then they basically said it was him, and then he got his house raided, and he was basically the victim. And the woman who basically said that she saw the man suddenly started remembering all this extra stuff and saying it was him. And she basically, out of nowhere, she actually had a very, very, very small, vague detail of this guy. And then suddenly she had bare facts about it, loads and loads of facts about this guy. And then it was saying, it was him. I remember it was him. And he's on the documentary saying, like, he's confidently on the documentary talking about it. And he was just going through a divorce, and he had a little girl.
I watched his interview.
Yeah. So they make but the documentary is interesting because they kind of make it, they don't really express, they don't really they make everyone on quite an even playing field. But then the guilty look guilty, which is ultimately the parents.
But he got found in court to be proven innocent, and he got damages of like 800 grand or something.
Yeah. So basically, But then basically went back to Ian Huntley with the guy who killed the Holly and Jessica.
Oh, and they said that he had the same traits as Ian Huntley.
Because Ian Huntley he's a disgusting human being, brother. He was basically at the crime scene. He was the caretaker, and he was talking, giving interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
And he had the same, and that's why they said that next man was part of it, because he was there so much. And they're like, this thing happened with Ian Huntley. Why is my man just there so much? And some of the journalists were like, this guy's suspicious. So it was all based on suspicion. Anyway, going back to the point of what happened to the woman who said she saw the guy, her details went from, I saw a guy just walking off with a girl in pajamas, to then I saw what his eye was like. I saw, and then all these details. But then she got denied, because why are all these facts coming out later?
Well, originally she even didn't say she saw anything.
No, originally she saw a man, and she basically, and
there's no camera footage of this guy, was there?
Nah, there's no camera footage of anything, bruv. It's like a holiday resort in Portugal.
So just
it all comes. Do you know what's interesting? Yeah, take everything away from it all. It all comes down to, okay, fine. The Portuguese police didn't have any evidence on it, but why are these parents leaving their children? Alone, and we kind of forget that. And that's do you know what I said to my missus last night when we finished it? I was just like, okay, forget everything, but why? I wouldn't have left my kids. I wouldn't have left my kids in foreign lands and my own lands. Maybe in particular circumstances that you could.
So not to go out for dinner.
So you're round the corner from it as well, and you're leaving, like, there's a door unlocked, and you're leaving your kids, and they've done that the whole week. Like, that in itself, I'm not saying they should be persecuted for this particular thing, but why are you leaving your kids alone in the first place? Like, even if that's the first thing, and that's what the Portuguese police basically were just saying, like, ultimately, like, this is not a custom, this is not a way, like, why would you leave your kids anyway? So take away the murder and the disappearance and stuff, like, leaving your kids, like, on holiday in a room.
It's very weird.
It's very weird in itself.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
You can never justify it.
That kind of gets overlooked because of all the stuff, like the conspiracy around it. But like, that in itself isn't right.
It's very weird. So just to reiterate, bro, you're saying that all of the cars that were in the hotel were lined up.
The cars in this car park the dogs went through them, and the only one that it barked at was the family car. The boot of the family car.
And what correlation does that have to the blood at the house?
Of the body being perhaps put in the car.
Because the dog also barked at the house, you're saying?
And the house, the dog. I would recommend just watching it, because it does change. If you haven't seen that bit, you kind of.
I've read up about that.
Yeah, it's worth just watching, because the dogs. When you look at the dogs, and like obviously we can't always take a dog as the dog is the thing that we discovered the murderer because of the dog. But look at what the dogs do. The dogs' jobs were to do certain things that they did. And it wasn't a setup. You could see how the dogs reacted, and they showed it all to Jerry when they interviewed him, the dad. But he basically said, "This is a waste of time. This isn't going to help me find my daughter." That was his reaction to when they were showing him all these, because they had 2 days interrogation with both of them, separately, yeah.
And were
2 days?
Their stories aligned?
Yeah, but they'd had all the stories, and they'd done all that. They'd done all the statements before. But this was when they were basically the suspects. So they had. It was raw, man. Like they went through it. They're still going through it. Whatever it is, they just basically had 2 days, and the police were quite aggressive and pretty much accusing them of it and whatever. But Jerry was, after they showed him all the dogs barking at these particular things where there would have been traces of blood, where there would have been a dead body. He basically said, "Look, this isn't helping me find my daughter."
Is there footage of their interviews?
Nah, because it was all private. But there's.
Yeah. Did they? No, but lie detectors, you can't rely on that as a legal thing.
You can't actually rely on the dogs either necessarily. But
yeah, that's what they're saying.
It does actually highlight a lot of things,
and
it makes the whole thing, like, for me, clearer. I'm not just saying the dogs have figured it out, but these dogs are like, they're trained,
of course,
and they've been taken over there for this particular. They're British dogs. They got flown over to Portugal to carry out this thing, and it's just these dogs are professionals. They are professional dogs, and they are professionals. And they almost just did what they kind of cleared up any misconceptions of what was going on.
Apparently, the government spent like something like north of 11 million or crazy amounts of money on the just this one investigation, which is fair, because like obviously if they could find a person, but
why they should just split that up and think about all the missing people there are in the world.
Yeah,
and then there was another young boy. I can't remember exactly. I'm kind of was in and out of it at this point. There's another young boy who basically got found. He actually found, unfortunately, he was found through this like paedophilia website, but he was basically a boy that had gone missing around the same time, and the parents were like, "Why is no one kicking up? Like, no one's doing any of this for my missing child, but Madeline Mccan is everywhere." And they were doing like a tour. The parents, they were going to loads of different countries, getting flown on private jets, doing a tour and like doing announcements and.
What, to like find the daughter?
Yeah.
Bro, the thing that also doesn't make sense, but again, I know I agree with what you're saying in the sense that these things don't just don't make sense because we can't understand it, but is that the parents did IVF. They were struggling for ages to have a child, and they did IVF, which is like a long procedure. It's an expensive procedure. They did IVF to have Madeline, so like it doesn't add up in my head as to why they would then not want that. But again, like, you know, if you would say the theory is maybe that like they accidentally, because apparently there's one theory that they gave her medicine and she overdosed on it and she died, and then they tried covering it up, which kind of makes a bit more sense. But obviously again, like, these are all theories. We just don't know. We won't know the truth until one day it might come out. You know what I mean?
It did come out,
but. I like googled the dude, the dad, to see like what does he like still practice? He's a cardiologist, so he's like a heart surgeon or something, and he obviously does lectures in universities, and I think he still lectures at unis.
Really?
Yeah, because I was thinking what their life must be like now. But I was googling and I found like he's been awarded a certificate for like outstanding research or something recently, so he must be.
I don't know the answers.
Don't you Google stuff after you?
No. But I haven't Googled about this now. But
imagine if he is, then his students like go and get.
Nothing's really changed from my view on it, because when it all came about, I was conscious of it, and when they were accused, I was conscious of it, and I've always in my head just thought that's too suspicious. There's too much kind of evidence and suspicion to say that something funny went on.
Yeah.
And then when this whole thing came about, and I watched it again and revised it, I personally have the same kind of thought that I did before, which is it's just suspicious, man. There's all the weird things that happen in the world. This almost is one of those weird things that happened. But at the same time, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Someone could have kidnapped her, and I don't know.
The thing is, it doesn't surprise me that it doesn't surprise me that no one's been arrested because obviously under the law the jury has to be confident without any cause of reasonable doubt, and obviously right now you'd still definitely doubt. There's still loads of cause of doubt. So
certainly.
We'll
never know.
I'd hope to know.
I don't want them to spend much more money on that whole case.
But it got reopened recently, didn't it? Like a few years back.
It's a little bit mad.
So is Ian Huntley still alive?
Ian Huntley's in prison.
He's in Belmarsh, isn't he?
That's a good question because something happened to him badly, didn't it? I can't remember what it was. And after watching this, Google that.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, he's serving time still, but he got attacked. Didn't get acid in his face or something.
Really?
He got really badly attacked.
So he was a caretaker, was he?
Yeah.
I remember that case as well.
When
all of these things were happening,
the two
I was
girls
quite young.
with the Man United t-shirts.
Oh,
do you remember that? Holly and
yeah,
Jessica.
Yeah.
That was very, very twisted, man. But when you watch back at him talking, bruv.
Oh, what? So he gave interviews to journalists and stuff?
Yeah, bruv. Oh, my days.
Yeah, that's a weird, man. It's a weird one.
Very, very weird. And he was just there to help out and to be almost like a face of it, but he was the guy who did it. So that's why they...
So how did they find that he did it? Cameras?
Do you know what? I can't remember.
It was years ago, wasn't it?
It was a long time ago. But I remember...
But they obviously found that he did it.
They found out that he got charged, yeah.
Wow.
That was twisted though, bruv. Another level. Bah. The rage I had for that man.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, anyone you study the case,
of course,
bruv,
yeah,
like,
but I
just can't get my head around
young,
it, man.
so I couldn't. I remember my mum was really into that case. She was like reading news. She was horrified, and
Mate.
I think I was very young, so I was like understanding it, but it was like
twisted, man. But I know something bad happened to him in prison.
Okay.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what it was. I don't think he wasn't killed or anything like that, but I think he had acid in the face or something like that. I can't remember, man. I remember just hearing about it, and it was one of those things like, well,
I wonder how long he
what
got.
would you expect?
Life.
You've probably got life.
Life
Yeah,
times two.
Yeah.
40 plus life. Yeah, whatever it's called.
Have you Googled it?
Getting there.
Well, if he
keep coming up with the case in it.
I don't know whether it would come up with something happened to him.
if he killed two people, then one would assume that he two counts of life. I don't know.
And a bit more on top, I would hope.
And I think minimum term for life is 15 years.
It said 40 plus.
So
years.
technically, he could get out one day or not.
Probably, considering how the system is. But yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, he could get out in really old age or something.
I'm trying to see.
Yeah.
There was a news article, kind of shifting over slightly, but there's a news article that came out today. I don't know if you might be... Actually, you will be able to find it, Nate, to be honest. If you can't find what you're looking for, but we search for this news article so we can find out the facts. It'll be like trending news like today. But it was something like, I think in East London, two teenagers got killed. They were spray painting in a tube station or something.
What do you mean?
Could you find that article, Nate?
I've just got the one of him being
Okay, go on
attacked.
then.
Hold on.
What was it? Go on.
Well, let me find the other one then, while you search that.
And I'll go on my phone as well?
Yeah, we'll just chill on our phones.
Said someone tried to slit his throat.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, guess what I saw the other day? There was a couple who in Scotland who went to a housing auction, and their intention was to go with 30 grand and get a flat in Scotland for their, like a 2-bedroom flat for them together. And so they were looking at this house, and the auction started for it, and they put their paddle up or however these auctions things work, and they got the house, right? 30k. And then they didn't realise until after that they actually accidentally put the wrong number down. So they ended up getting a humongous mansion in Scotland, but it's fully broken down. That's why it wasn't going for much. For 30 grand.
Mashallah. Amazing.
Yeah. A huge mansion, but it's mash up, bro.
Whereabouts in Scotland is it?
I'm not sure. Completely mash up, but their intention basically, they said, is they're gonna do it all up, turn the mansion into 3 flats. So they're gonna rent 2 of them, and they're gonna pay off the mortgage with the rent from those 2, and they're gonna live in the 3rd one. Clever.
Yeah, wicked. Mashallah.
Imagine that, like getting the wrong thing. Apparently they were so gassed when they found out they got the wrong thing.
Amazing. You get a lot of value for your money in there, man.
Yeah, I don't know too much about auctions, but I know people go to car auctions and house auctions and stuff. Maybe it's something worth looking into.
I went to Scotland last week. I met a freshly grounded fan.
Really?
Yeah, he came to see me, which was nice.
Because of Freshly Grounded?
Yeah. He travelled an hour.
No way.
Hung about, gave me a T-shirt. Big up Hamza. Which
No
was
way.
nice. Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Did you have lunch together?
I was working, so I just chilled with him for a minute.
So he travelled out for a whole hour.
Yeah. And he went there in the first place to because of Freshly Grounded. And he's been looked after up there, which is nice.
He went where because of Freshly Grounded?
To the salon.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
So that was the yard. You can't see much of it.
It looks like a lot of expense.
It says a young couple tried to buy a 2-bedroom flat for 30k, but ended up with a
Did you
derelict.
find this graffiti thing that you were just talking about?
Yeah, I'm going to read it in a second. This is interesting, though, bro. They end up buying a derelict mansion by accident after a mix-up with an auction number. They bought a 120-year-old property, and didn't realise the property was sold in 3 lots instead of 1, and he put his bid in too early by mistake. But the pair would mixed up a beautiful mistake, and yeah, the house needs a new roof. But a civil engineer has told us the walls probably won't be strong enough to hold it up, so we would have to fix them first and risk the rain coming through the roof ruining them. It's like a huge catch-22 jigsaw puzzle. You wouldn't think all this would put us off, but it hasn't. You would think it's put us off, but it hasn't. We may have bought the wrong house, but to us it was a happy accident. I would just be annoyed. I would just want my flat.
Yeah.
Just give me the flat.
Tell me the graffiti story.
Okay. Graffiti story.
Yeah, he's in Belmarsh.
He's in Belmarsh, is he?
Yeah. My brother used to work there.
What was he? You got attacked and someone tried to slit his throat, is it?
But he got transferred there because he tried to kill himself.
Nate, can you find that? I can't seem to find that story.
You're too busy looking at this Scottish
story?
What is it called? What did I say? Graffiti.
Stop looking at Scottish property prices, man.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to move to Glasgow, are we?
Okay, here we go.
Okay, useless.
Tributes have been paid to 3 graffiti artists killed by a train in South London.
Loughborough Junction.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right by me.
When was it? Yesterday?
I take that. No, it was like months ago.
Oh, okay. The family of... Why is it only news today? The family of one of the 3 who died said he had an exceptional talent for art from an early age. And he died doing something he loved. There's no words to describe the devastation we feel. But what actually happened? Okay, spray cans were found close to their bodies. Police believe the men were hit by an out-of-service passenger train near Loughborough Junction station at about 1 a.m. on Monday. It was only on Monday, bro.
Again?
Yeah, there must be a new one.
I don't get how people get hit by a train now.
Oh, no. This is old. What?
It happened ages ago, months ago.
Bro, that's not the one I'm talking about then.
Oh, that's the train I get to Fleet Street.
I'm so confused. I just saw an article just now. I don't know. But yeah, apparently in East London there was something recently. Graffiti.
Just confuses me how people get hit by trains, and especially there, it's open. Like, how do you not see a train coming? It's not like they're
people
quiet.
risk their lives to that though, don't they?
So that article, what was the... sorry, what was the conclusion? What happened?
I couldn't find it.
Don't look again, because you spent 15
No,
minutes
I'm going to look for it now, because you really want to know.
No, I don't. Please don't. Don't waste any more time on your phone. Because people are listening to this thinking, what is he doing? Stop now.
Bro, let me just try...
Don't tell me any more about auctions and...
If I find it here, I'm gonna.
If it's there, it's there. If it's not, stop.
If it's there, it's there. We'll just look. We'll just wait. Do you like the candle though?
A candle's nice, thank you. Yeah. How
have you smelt it?
I'm finding it difficult to smell.
Because of the thing.
Yeah.
We got some. We got some storage in this studio today of some herbs. Yeah, that's what it is. It's some parsley.
Yeah,
it's parsley and
couple of boxes
mint or something, and so it's like smells a bit of the parsley.
It smells quite fresh.
Yeah,
jumper.
that.
Found it? If you haven't, please stop.
Yeah, no, they're talking about the Loughborough thing. Yeah, we're gonna stop.
Yeah, good.
Stop. So I went to a restaurant yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's it was a Jamaican fast food restaurant that is fully halal.
Downstairs?
No, actually not downstairs. And it's run by a Muslim. It started by a Muslim guy, very nice. But basically, they have like a twist to their burgers. So what it is it's a grilled chicken burger, and you can have it with jerk sauce, barbecue, or I can't remember the third one. And instead of a burger bun, they use a fried dumpling bun. So they use fried dumpling, cut it in half, and put the burger in the middle.
Nice. It's nice.
I'm on a diet.
Yeah.
Only a sweet one, though.
Had sweet potato fries with it. We should diet. We should deep fried. No.
Mashallah, you're on a diet. That sounds nice, to be fair.
Sounds nice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
nice.
decent.
Yeah, it does sound nice.
Oh, yeah, but it's a bit of a thing that like you try it and then alhamdulillah it's nice and khalas.
Have you ever tried a deep fried Mars bar?
Bro, I've never tried one, but I've always wanted to. Is it nice?
No, I've never tried one.
Oh, have you?
They're massive. They're massive in Aberdeen, where I was. They're really, really big.
Really?
People have them, yeah, but I just don't feel right about it.
So, but back when they started getting big and famous, popular, when I was in high school, no, the deep fried bars, I went to the local chippy and I said to the guy, "Could you do me a deep fried bars?" Well, he was just go buy one and then I'll do it for you.
Yeah. It's quite common apparently. People take them in.
What was it in the batter?
Like,
yeah, they make batter. Do you know what, bro? Do you want to do it today?
No.
Oh, what? Please, bro. Let's do it.
I don't want to do it at all. Makes you feel like I don't know. Makes you feel
let's do it.
Nah, I'm alright.
I'll do it with the Snickers though.
That's a good idea, actually.
Innit? I don't like
You're on a diet, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Break it for a deep fried Snickers.
Yeah, with you, I'll do that.
Not today. Another day I will.
You're busy today.
I just don't want to eat that today.
Diet.
Would you do that with me, Nate? On Saturday,
He loves it. He's got a sweet tooth.
Nate started Arabic.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. Did you want me to? You didn't want me to mention that, did you? Did you want me to mention that?
Today,
mention what you want.
MashaAllah.
It's your show.
Yeah.
It is his show. You're
Just
right.
No, it's our show.
It's your show.
Our show. Yeah, man.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. He bro made a big sacrifice, man. He quit football for it, and he obviously Nate's basically like a semi-pro footballer. So
was
look at that.
Rate that.
Yeah, man. I'll put barakah in it, man.
I mean,
so we discussed many things, but ultimately it came down to a discussion of whether Madeline McCann situation, didn't it? Really.
That did come up. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It took a nice chunk.
I advise people to watch the documentary if you've got time because it's interesting. But I don't know. I mean, ultimately, Allah knows best. But for me, this looks very suspicious. But what do I know?
What do you know?
Probably a little bit more than you, because I actually watched the full documentary, not just one in the end.
Yeah, there's episode 1 and episode 8. I wasn't going to watch all. They were like an hour and a half long episodes.
How can you expect to learn if you're going to cut out the whole middle bit? Because you didn't see the dogs, you didn't see the cars, you didn't see all the juicy bits. You saw the end bit and you saw the beginning bit.
And then I researched the rest online.
Yeah, but what's that?
I don't have...
It's very time-consuming.
Yeah.
Mrs. put it on every night and I'm just kind of...
Yeah, if you watch it every night, but do you know what you have, bro? You have patience. I don't.
Do you know what? Real talk, I don't watch anything. I promise you. I find it very, very difficult to sit and watch something in the evening. I very, very rarely watch it. I'm generally on my iPad doing something, and I kind of go in and out. Unless it's something really gripping. But this has been on, and I ignored it at first, and then I thought, you know what? I'm actually going to pay attention to it, and then I couldn't stop watching it. And it really grabbed my attention. So I do. It's good to watch, man, because it's strange.
Yeah.
So I do advise just once a night watch it, and make your conclusion.
I'm trying to think of the thing we watched before because we do that as well, but I can't think. Obviously,
everyone watches like series and stuff. I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
I'm impatient with that. I'm also impatient, but if it's like a 8-part documentary, I'm fairly. Have you heard about the documentary of the guy who, his name is Mike something or. This big documentary. Netflix have released 2 things. They released a docu-series about. Netflix have released a drama about him, and then they've also released a documentary about the actual guy.
The doctor guy. What's his name again?
Yeah.
What's his name? But angry saying. I can't remember.
It's like.
Yeah, because I was watching it the other day.
Okay, so basically it's a documentary about a guy, right? And he's like this like manipulative, evil man, yeah, who like meets women, rich women. And this was only a few years ago, where he would meet rich women. He would pretend he was an anaesthetist or a doctor or something, but he never really like ended up finishing his course or whatever. I can't remember. And he was addicted to drugs, so he like had a secret life of just like injecting himself with anesthetics. He just loved it. At the same time, he'd like rinse all of their money, and he like mentally he came across like the most ideal man, and he'd go for women who are like divorced but really wealthy and like middle-aged. Make them feel like the best women ever, so their judgment would be completely clouded. They'd do everything for him. They'd like leave their families for him and everything, and he'd just like use them for their money and for all this kind of stuff. And then he'd like, when he was done with them, he would like I can't remember, like he was like abusive and everything, and he would have been in prison. He'd hide his secret life from them and everything, and then eventually like he like did it again with this like his final victim, and it concluded in. This is a spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched it. It concluded in him basically trying this and got in this big physical fight with one of the daughters, because the daughter was like suspicious of him and like that he's a bit dodgy, and so he hated her because she was suspicious, and eventually like he like waited outside her work or something, and she saw this car. She's a bit like
Dirty John.
There you go. He ends up pulling out a knife and tries like he beats up like the daughter, gets her on the floor, gets tougher, and tries knifing her, and she somehow managed to like kick him out, and she just stabbed him, bruv, everywhere. And obviously and it's quite graphic because I think the one that killed him, she stabbed him in the eye. Yeah. And she obviously didn't get arrested because he tried to kill her. Yeah. So but now he's dead.
Dirty John.
But don't watch the series. I don't know. I generally, bro.
You just told everyone what happened.
Yeah, no, but the drama series is as well. We got to bear in mind that a lot of this stuff probably has a lot of haram in it.
True,
like, because it's a drama, they probably had a lot of like sexual stuff. We can't imagine. But the documentary, it just talks about the actual man.
Life,
the actual man.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to stay with them kind of the dramas and stuff.
Yeah, you're wasting time, man. Yeah, full of haram. Someone asked someone on the Umrah trip, is PlayStation haram? And he's like, well, what game? And he's like, and he said the game. I said, well, is there haram in it? And you would say, yeah. He goes, okay, it was haram. And then you say another game, like football. Is there haram in it? No. Okay, well, it's not haram. Point is to be conscious of these little things, which is halal and haram, is very, very important, man. Because you end up not only wasting an awful amount of time, but conditioning and polluting yourself with absolute garbage. So it's healthy. These little reminders is healthy, man. And
I suppose you end up desensitizing yourself to it, and we are all guilty of it. Like, we'll watch
Definitely
something,
yeah.
we'll watch something and we'll think, oh, it's really truly, it's not really, like, it's maybe got one little element of like haram, but
hasn't affected you, man.
A reminder to ourselves that we should probably actually
certainly
be like, well, we're now desensitizing ourselves to that element of haram, so we're gonna next watch something that maybe isn't as bad or as bad.
Try and be conscious of it, man. Otherwise, before you know it.
And there's no doubt that it is very difficult. Obviously, the day and age that we live in and everything on TV, it's very, very difficult, bro. And one thing I know I've mentioned a few times that I noticed of you the few times I've been to your house is that you always seem to have like nature documentaries on, which is very clean and very like you learn. It's very educational. I don't know if you still do that, but I've mentioned a few times.
And the shops as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minimalism documentary and stuff like that. Yeah.
Bit of sports, bit of nature.
Oh, bro, I was looking at the this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him. Have you heard of Shahid Khan?
I've heard the name.
Okay, so he basically owns the Jacksonville Jaguars and he owns Fulham Football Club.
Right.
And he owns, and he was trying to buy Wembley Stadium recently. That's what he's most famous for. That's how he got a bit more like known amongst like general people. He was trying to buy Wembley Stadium for 90 million or 900 million. He's the richest man to ever come out of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And I was watching this thing on YouTube, which is like a day in the life of Shahid Khan. And the point is that he I can't remember. He's extremely wealthy. But anyway, Omar sees these people, and Omar said something that's really like powerful to me the other day. He said that the thing that I find the most sad is that you see the people who you see that are the Muslims who you see that are like, or I don't know even know if he's a Muslim or not Muslim. I don't know about his like. I'm assuming that he is because he's from Pakistan and his name and stuff, but I don't know. But Omar said that like these, you see these really successful Muslims, yeah, like who are bro, this guy is multi-billionaire level, and you see loads of people who are like Muslim and they're like on that level of multi-billionaire. But it's a shame that you don't see anyone who's like on that level that's out there, but like, oh no, I hope that didn't get damaged. Sorry. It's okay, we have to just cut that out in the thing as well. He said that you don't see anyone who's on this like multi-billionaire level that's a Muslim, and then you see them attributed to like Salah and stuff like that. You don't know, innit? Who do you see that's like that? But we're talking the type of money where you can buy Wembley Stadium for £90 million.
Or 900 million.
Or 900 million, which is a small difference.
It's true. But then it's that sometimes, yeah, no, it's true.
It's true though.
I don't see these people as their lives though, man. I don't know what these people do behind closed doors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't. But I'm saying they outwardly express that.
I don't know. I don't. Like, you'd have to follow someone to kind of know where they stand with that, don't they?
Nah, that's not true, bro. Because right, if you're following someone and then they're at like they're doing a launch event at bars with champagne,
true,
it's bait. If it was like, obviously, if they were like fairly clean the whole time, then you think, oh, maybe this guy like prays stuff there. But I'm not saying that this guy doesn't either. But I'm saying that it's a shame that we don't see someone who's that rich, literally, bro. Like they don't go near places of alcohol.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's very true,
bro. Anyway, this was episode 96 of Freshly Grounded. We're almost at 100. So just a reminder to everyone listening, our 100th episode is soon. We might have just broken the third microphone that we own, so inshallah we haven't. We'll find out about that later. And please do check out our Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/Freshly Grounded. It's PATRON.com/Freshly Grounded. That is how you can support our podcast. It's about £5 a month. You get your episodes early, and you also get them ad free. And with that being said, guys, this was episode 96 Freshly Grounded.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.